In this video, I would like to talk about making our script smart by using some conditioning, usually known as if statement, and all the different conditions that you can put on your script for your script to start using some logic. So this thing, as any other part of the journey that we have been doing so far, is a practical thing. Is the more you practice, the more you become comfortable on how to use it. That's like the only way to beat this game, the only way to get very comfortable on how to do the programming with some logic, if statement, and all those other stuff. So here we're going to take a couple of examples to kind of ground the knowledge on how we can use those things. So the if statement, usually how it's being formulated is make it an if you put a condition, and then after that condition is being met, now you will execute the command that you want to execute, particularly for that script. For this example, for example, we want to write a script that will determine if a number is a positive number or either if it's a negative number. So for that, I'm going to start by installing my favorite editor, to do this exercise. I'll go. So I will create a file. Let's call this file number.sh. We are using a bash script, so we want to put the .sh to so that we are professional. And here I'm trying to add my shebang /bin/bash. So I will ask a user to enter a number. For that, I'm going to use a read-p, and I will say enter a number. And then a semicolon space. So that number that the person would enter, I want to see if that number will be a positive number or not. So I'm going to open the two brackets. Here, when we use the if statement, put those two brackets, you need to put that space. It's quite important. And also, I forgot to mention that that number that the person will be entering, I want to set a variable on it that I'm calling that variable a. So I will say if the value of a that will be entered is greater than 0, for example, I'm going to say then, as we saw on that sample, I want to echo, and this is the command. And I'm echoing here, this is a positive number. And when you write an if statement, you always end your if statement with a fi. So you begin the if statement with the if, and then you end it with the fi. So I'm going to save it, and we do our chmod u plus x on that number. So if I run my script here, number, and it's expecting to enter a number, when I would type, this is a positive number, right? But we didn't put a condition for any other purpose. For example, if we decide to put a negative number, it's not going to tell us anything back. So that is going to be the opportunity to go to the next statement, which is another variable of the if statement, which we usually call a if else statement. So in this case, we're going to put the first condition, and then we're going to set a command. And if that command doesn't meet what we are looking for, we're going to set a second command that is need to be executed. Either it meets the first one, things are fine, it report, or either it doesn't meet the first one, it goes on the second one. So to do that, we're going to go back in our file that we call a number. And here we say, this is our first command that we put. That was echo, this is a positive number. So if that what it doesn't meet, let's say else, since you are not meeting that requirement, you need to execute a second command here. And the second command will say this is a negative number, right? So, and it's always closed with the fi command. So in this case, if we run our script and we enter a number here, and it will say this is a positive number because we enter a positive number. But in the case where we try to enter a negative number here, it's going to say this is a negative number. So this is how the if-else statement would be situated. So our first command here was to display is positive, and the second command is to display is negative. And then imagine a scenario where you don't want a user to enter a particular number in this case. And we can use another type of scenario, which is if-else statement. So here we're going to set a first condition. With the then we're going to execute the command that we want to execute. And if it doesn't meet that requirement, we're going to go with the if-else condition. And then here we're going to execute the second command or either the third command. And for this purpose, we can take the example of saying that we don't want somebody to enter the number 0, for example. So since we don't want nobody to enter the number 0, after this first command that we have passed here, so we need to say if, it's actually else if. So this is how we mention it. And when we say the else if, we need to open our second condition for this matter. If that value of A is equal to 0, right? At the next level here, we're going to say, then we want to echo, for example, choose another number. Let me try to type it. And no, choose another number, right? And then, if the value that the user chooses is the number 0, because we don't want nobody to enter 0, the command going to say then choose another number that is going to be output. If else is going to say this number is a negative number. So as we save this, if we run our script again and we decide to enter 0, here is going to say choose another number. And that's where the person will either decide to enter a 7, where we will get this is a positive number, or if the person enter a negative number, we will say this is a negative number. So basically, that's how you make your script smart, and you start making using in a more advanced way on your scripting, right? So one of the things that is very important and critical is going to be all these operator that I'm using over here. These are the things that you need to be more familiar, and the more you're going to practice, the more you're going to do it. Those operator is going to become a second nature. And usually how to use those operator here, if you have a set of a numerical on our example, we're doing some operation with the numerical, that's why we were using the equal, and this one will be unequal, greater than that we use, and this is greater than or equal, all those operator. But now when we are playing with string, usually this is the set of operator that we'll be using to work on our script. So like I say, to be more confident and to be more comfortable with this, you just need to be practice. You need to do as much as a statement as possible, and with time it's going to become a different ball game, and going to take this thing to the next level. And as always, guys, have fun and enjoy.